Hello. We've had some requests about the grinding table that's used in most of the videos. This grinding table was something that I made, and this is Ken Ground, and Alan Binder is the individual who's in most of the other videos showing you the procedure. But I made this because I didn't want to use a drill. And also I knew that I may be grinding a bunch of lenses, for various projects in the computer, in the future. So I was able to accumulate the parts, to basically make this, which is a little bit more convenient in my own opinion than the drill press. But it wasn't cheap, even though I was able to get most of the parts from surplus places. But just to show you, this is sort of where things happen on this end. Right here we have a chuck, and the chuck is where the stem of I'll say the stem for the platform for where you grind the lenses. That's where that's positioned. It's attached to a shaft, and the shaft was like I had to basically just turn it down because it was a quarter of an inch, and then put some threads on the end. But that shaft, it does sit here and at the base here in a bearings. Just because if you just sort of set it into wood, it would eventually just eat up the wood, and it won't work. So you need to sort of put it in real bearings. And then there is a variable V pulley right here, one on this end, and then also the other variable pulley, which hooks up to the motor, is on this end. And of course, the variable pulley allows you to basically adjust the speed, at least a little bit. The getting back to the primary end where the grinding takes place, you can see the chuck right here. I have a plastic insert which goes into here, and then of course the stem would go through here. When this is put in place, and this actually, in my case, this fits in very tight, I actually would put a hole in the bottom of this cheap little plastic container, and then put that over here, and this would just serve as a catch for any of the slurry or other things that would drop down from the grinding process. So one of the problems with this design is that slurry does drop into the what's this thing called again? Into here, and it does rust. So you have to be careful. You have to clean this out frequently after it's used. So it's nowhere near a perfect design. So the only thing I think I had to pay sort of close to full price was the chuck. See, that's the word. See, it eventually comes to me. I got the variable V pulleys. They were just sitting in a hardware store, and they pretty much had forgotten about them. And I think I got them for about $5 a piece. The motor, I had basically just searched some of the surplus places. I think it probably was about 30 to 60 RPMs, right around in there. So I was able to adapt it fairly well for this use. This right here is a capacitor that came with the motor. Most AC motors need a capacitor to basically get them started. One of the things that's nice about this motor is the switch here that I made. This will reverse the motion. Because this has a capacitor and all that, to get it going, you have to really basically give it power, which powers up the capacitor, and then this becomes the start button. And you can hear it. It's relatively loud, but But again, because of the variable V pulleys, yeah, I can either open one and close another to change the speed on the other end. And over here on this side, I had made some slots so that I could adjust the final tension on the variable V pulley. So this is basically what it is. You know, it works. I'm not saying, let me turn it off. This is basically what it is. It works. I'm not saying the design is the best. It's just what I came up in the limited amount of time and effort that I wanted to spend on it. The design could be improved. I think overall it ended up costing me like about $60, which is fairly expensive, you know, if you consider the price of a hand drill. One of the problems with the hand drills is that it's not as easy to get one that has a good lower speed, you know, a variable speed. A lot of the drills right now, at least that I have seen anyway, they even though they're variable, they start out real fast. And Alan had an older one that he had used for many years, and it had a nice slow speed that he was able to basically keep by putting some tape or some string around it. But that hand drill went basically just right around the time that we began this project. So I already had this made, and so we just substituted that this for that. So that's the little grinding table. If you decide to make one, again, you can probably come up with a better design. You will need a fair number of tools and you know, basically woodworking and a little bit of metalworking equipment to help you along with this project. Yeah, I used some of that laminate, which you can get like at Home Depot, throughout, because that's pretty much waterproof. But all of the exposed edges, which is just particle board, yeah, I definitely had to basically coat that with some type of waterproof sealant, because you know, the sludge from the grinding, it pretty much gets all over. Okay, thanks. If you have any questions, contact us, and we'll be more than willing to try to help you out.